Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse Batman vs. Solomon Grundy. Grundy, like Clayface, comes with his own cell, and you can take the cells that come with Grundy, Clayface, and Killer Croc and combine them into a three-sided display. In the way of Batman, you get yourself another repaint Batman from, and again, I believe it's from the original DC Comics Multiverse Arkham Asylum Batman. Truthfully, though, really wasn't interested in this guy so much as I was getting a much large, beefy Solomon Grundy, and really for that matter, a Clayface. So when I saw these guys in stores, looking forward to getting this guy opened up, let me just tell you. On the side, it indicates that it does have a jail cell, but we've already been there. Spot's covered that already. And some nice artwork on the side of Batman from Arkham City. The side features a very strange skin that you can have in Batman Arkham City. Can't really, I don't even know if this is is this not the Jim Lee Batman? It might not be. Or it might be the Dark Knight Returns Batman. But needless to say, it's one of the skins that are in the game. And then on the back, same artwork on the side, but a really awesome picture of Solomon Grundy. Man, that's impressive. But Batman vs. Solomon Grundy is, again, one of three figures that you can collect. The first one being Clayface versus Batman, Solomon Grundy versus Batman, and Killer Croc versus Nightwing. Really happy also that they gave us a Nightwing as opposed to a third Batman. This comes to us also from the folks over at Mattel. You can go to oh hey, some cool artwork there, www.mattel.com. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse Batman vs. Solomon Grundy. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Exactly like with Clayface, Solomon Grundy comes with two pieces for his cell, the top part, and you know the top part by the fact that these interlock with one another. You take the bottom halves, which are three tabs, and you put them into the three slots for the display stand. Just apply a little bit of pressure, and you've got yourself the cell. Just moving these figures out of the way, Batman and Solomon Grundy. Putting the cell right there, and reaching off camera to the other cell that Spot has already done for Clayface. Let's see if we can actually connect the two. Well, I can tell you that the floor, oh, I see how it goes. Okay, so essentially, you see how there's a little notch in the bottom of the floor, and then there's more of a hook on the one side. If you slide this down, and while you slide it down, these connector points here touch one another and connect in. And then just like that, you've got yourself a display stand that is now two-sided. So imagining, if you will, when we eventually get Killer Croc, his piece will go like this, and you have a three-sided cell. But you know, even if you don't get a three-sided cell and you only have these two figures, these figures look awesome. This would just be a great display piece for anything. I mean, any 3 3/4 scale figure would be ideal for this. And just to have some fun, you could put Clayface or Solomon Grundy on one side and grab Clayface and put Clayface on the other. I don't think either of them would want to be sharing the same room with one another, but there you can see how they work. We'll just move Clayface off and grab Solomon Grundy, and we'll just kind of, we'll move the cell just to the side. I don't want to take it off camera. I want to keep it there because it's kind of cool. Okay, so having a look at the first figure that comes in this set, you've got yourself yet another Batman. It's the same Batman as before. There's nothing different between the two. In fact, let me reach off camera and show you guys the other Batman. An ongoing trend, really, is that they're great figures from the neck down. I love the look of this Batman. The Bat Crest logo is awesome. Paint is quite nice. Cloth cape, nice added touch. But downside, squishy heads. Squishy, really long heads. From the side, it's not so bad, but when you look at them from the front, they've got really long 6-head heads. What's a 6-head? It's bigger than a 4-head. And for that matter, it's bigger also than a 5-head, which I thought was big enough, but these look like they have 6 heads. At any rate, though, I mean, again, it's They've changed out the utility belt slightly. That's one thing. This one has the pouches. This one has more of the capsule type utility belt, but it's essentially the same figure. Moving this guy to the side. I love this Batman. I just wish his head wasn't like this. It's just too long and squishy. His articulation would be the exact same, and actually, for that matter, his cape is the exact same too, just black as opposed to blue. Articulation on Batman would be the head, rotates left and right. Arms hinge out, forward and back. He has a nice bend at the elbow, swivel the wrists, swivel the waist, and then the legs go forward, back, out, swivel the thigh, and a hinge at the knee. This could have been a really cool Batman, just not crazy on the head. For the rest of the figure and the paint, I'm going to give this Batman here a 7. And I understand Spot might have given the other one a little too low. It probably should have been a little bit higher than 6, but this Batman I'm going to give a 7. I just don't like the head. I think the head is just too squished. Taking Batman and just putting him to the side and having a look at Solomon Grundy, the meat and the potatoes of this set. He's big, yet he doesn't feel as heavy as you think he should be. He's a good looking piece, and proportionately, I know we kind of already brought him in before, but proportionally, yeah, he's roughly about the same size as Clayface. Different bodies, yes, but roughly about the same size of figure. It's remarkable how Mattel was able to pass this figure off for kids, though. The fact that Grundy is scarred and ripped open in the chest and stitched all back up. Not to mention, he's a scary looking figure. I'm honestly surprised that Mattel released this guy. I say honestly surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised that they released him because he's a neat looking figure, but I am really surprised that they would have released this guy geared towards kids. DC Collectibles and DC Direct can do that because it's kind of geared more towards an older collector, but this guy, scratching my head, doesn't make any sense to me. One neat thing that they did was they took the ripped sleeves, this would be his jacket, and then this would be his ripped shirt. But the pieces are connected to one another. So if you were actually to lift his shirt, which you can't, if you were to lift it, that's just his regular torso underneath. Like, this is all one section. Smart. It's a good, smart way to do that. His face is very scary looking. Doesn't look like he has lips. I can't see lips. Can you see lips? He doesn't have lips. Some teeth. Zombie eyes. Sunken in cheeks. He is pretty scary. And I'm looking at this like, if I was looking at this like a 6-year-old child, which sometimes people would think I am, he does look like a scary looking figure. He has some good weight, but again, he doesn't feel as heavy as you think he should feel. He feels like a little light. He feels light in the legs area especially. Plastic, though, for feeling a little more lighter than expected. The plastic feels like it's a good quality. And there's some gashes and stitches and staples all in his body, but nothing really is painted. It's all one color, which is a bit of a shame. At least the gash around his chest is painted. That's good. And then the teeth in the yellow and the pink there, that's painted too. So those help. He is barefooted, and funny enough, the sculpt on his feet are done on the undersides as well, as opposed to just being flat. A nice touch. When it comes to his articulation, well, Two-Face, Solomon Grundy, I keep thinking Clayface and I keep going from there. Solomon Grundy's head does rotate all the way around. His shoulders do hinge out. Not limited at all by this vest, but because this vest is rubber, it doesn't really hinder it. The arms also do move forward and back. It doesn't have a swivel, but he does have a bend in the elbow. Swivel in the wrists. Then the upper torso swivels, and he has a ball joint right there, but it really only allows you to slightly swivel the torso. It doesn't really let you move it up and down, sadly. Legs do move forward, back. He has a swivel at the thigh, which very well concealed. It is there. I mean, you know, anyone with eyes can see that it is there, but it does a pretty good job of concealing it. He also does have a hinge in the knee. And he doesn't have any articulation in the foot, but for that matter, neither did Clayface. Really like the look of Solomon Grundy. Again, how this passed as something that a kid could buy is beyond me, but I am glad that they were able to create and release him. For a rating on Solomon Grundy here, I'm going to give him also an 8. I'm going to give him an 8. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse. We're looking at the Batman and Solomon Grundy from Batman Arkham. I think it was Arkham City, wasn't it? Certainly stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.